welcome to ICRA. Today we'll be covering current affairs for the first week of December. So let's just directly get into it. The first topic of our week is deep sea mission. We will be covering various dimensions of this topic, starting from the definition to the advantages of this mission. All right. So as we all know, the oceans cover 71% of the Earth's surface, right? And more than 80% of this is unmapped and unexplored up till now, right? 80% has been unexplored. So definitely there was a larger need to come up with such a mission that envisages exploration of minerals, right? That is why our government came up with this mission. We are investing huge into this. We are investing around 8,000 crores into this. So we must know that how are we going to achieve it and what are the advantages and what are the benefits we are going to take out of this. The first, to address the first question, how are we going to do this? We will be using this method of mining, right? So deep sea mining karenge hum to extract the minerals from the seabed, right? And the second one, which is the advantages will be various, starting from extracting the minerals to the study of the climate change, of marine biodiversity, and survey of the compounds like hydrocarbons and the minerals like I already explained. तो ये इसके एडवांटेजेस हैं और हमने ये पढ़ा कि हम इसको करेंगे कैसे. What exactly the mission is? The mission is about exploring the minerals, and what is the need to do this? We have done this. Now another question which comes up is which is the implementing body of this mission? So the implementing body is Ministry of Earth and Sciences. Apart from this, there are various stakeholders to this mission, which are DRDO, Department of Biotech, ISRO, and CSIR. These are the stakeholders. What you need to remember is just the implementing body, the main implementing body, Ministry of Earth and Science. That's important, right? So there's a body of United Nations called International Seabed Authority. Okay, International Seabed Authority, which has allotted to India some 1,000 square kilometer for exploration of polymetallic sulfides or polymetallic nodules. Before we read about polymetallic nodules, polymetallic sulfides, I would just like to tell you some facts about this body called ISA, International Seabed Authority. So it's a United Nations body set up to regulate the exploration of marine non-living resources of ocean, and it was established under UN clause, that is United Nations Convention on Law of Sea, जिसका headquarter is located in Kingston, Jamaica. All right. Now let's get back to our main question, that is polymetallic nodules क्या होते हैं और इनके क्या uses and advantages हैं. So polymetallic nodules are the potato shaped minerals. ये potato shape के और potato के size के ही minerals होते हैं, which are found in deep sea, right? And what are they composed of? They're composed of manganese. They're composed of various minerals actually. They're composed of, for example, manganese, iron, nickel, copper, cobalt, lead, molybdenum, cadmium, vanadium, titanium, of which nickel, cobalt and copper, these are the three minerals which are considered to be of economic and strategic importance. These are very important. These are the most important minerals among the all. And what is the benefit? Why are we spending so much into this? What is the benefit? What are the advantages are we going to get from it? So this will be completing India's energy requirement for the next 100 years. This is the main advantage. This is the main benefit we are going to get from this, that our energy need, our energy requirements will get completed. All right. And apart from this, there are so many minerals, and we can definitely use these minerals at other places as well. For example, we can use them in batteries and all sort of things. But the major advantage is the energy requirement, right? This is a diagram which is depicting the extraction of the mineral, right? This is a collector and this is a pipe. So this pipe will be collecting the nodules. The nodules are present here, as you can see. The minerals are present here. The collector will be collecting the nodules and will be transferring it to bulk courier, and they'll be further transferred and refined and will be used further in the market. So that was all about the topic. Next up we have home for transgender children, right? So this is a really important topic, not just for the exam, but even generally this is a really important topic. We all must be aware of this thing who are transgender. ठीक है, इनके बारे में हमें पता होना चाहिए. This is a really sensitive and a really important topic. ठीक है, before I tell you, I make you understand the news and the update regarding this, I must tell you who are transgender, उनकी क्या definition होती है, वो हम एक बारी देख लेते हैं. So there was an act which came in 2019 called Transgender Persons Act. उसके हिसाब से एक definition है transgender की. So that act defines a transgender person as one whose gender does not match the gender assigned at birth, right? It includes trans men, trans women, a person with intersex variation. तो ये सब इसमें included है. That was the definition of transgender, which is definitely important, and this is a really nice initiative our Ministry of Women and Child Development has started, that they are planning to establish for India's first children home, transgender children home in Bangalore. So regarding the exam, you just need to remember the definition, of course, definition, who are transgender, and the nodal agency, the nodal ministry as to who will be implementing this, right? That was all about this topic. Next up we have Mission COVID Suraksha. Okay. Government of India has recently announced third stimulus package of 900 crores for this mission. Okay. The utmost important question which arises here is कि ये mission है क्या? What is COVID mission COVID Suraksha? What is this mission? So the first line written over here is self-explanatory, that the Indian COVID-19 vaccine development mission. It is a COVID-19 vaccine development mission. ये vaccine develop करने के लिए ये एक mission है. ठीक है. So the 900 crore package will be given to the Department of Biotechnology, and उसके अंदर भी there's a unit called Biotechnology Industry Research Assistant Council BIRAC, जिसको ये पैसा दिया जाएगा, allocate किया जाएगा, so that what is the basic aim? So that the preclinical trial could be accelerated. Preclinical trial होते हैं कि जो वैक्सीन डेवलपमेंट की जो फर्स्ट स्टेज होती है, जो शुरुआती स्टेज होती है, उसको हम प्रीक्लिनिकल ट्रायल बोलते हैं. सो इट एम्स टू एक्सेलरेट a lot of stages starting from the preclinical trial to the clinical development. Also, it will help the money, the allocation will help in strengthening the laboratories, providing them with all kind of facilities so that the vaccine for COVID-19 could be developed as soon as possible. Let's read a little more about this body called Biotechnology Industry Research Assistant Council. So it is a non-for-profit state-owned enterprise जो कि Department of Biotech का एक part है. That was all about this topic. You just need to remember what this mission is all about. इसका क्या main aim है, and this first line is sufficient for you to remember that it is a vaccine development mission, comes under Department of Biotechnology. Alright, that was all about this. Next up we have State of Food and Agriculture report. So there's a report called State of Food and Agriculture Report 2020 which has been released by FAO. Before we proceed further, let's just know about this organization called Food and Agriculture Organization. It is a specialized institution of United Nations. UPSC might directly ask you this question as to whether it is a institution under United Nations or not. So yes, not just an institution, it is a specialized institution of United Nations which is situated in Rome, Italy, and it was established in 1945. And of course the important thing about this कि इसका basically major aim क्या है, what they do. So its main aim is to end hunger, which is our sustainable development goal also. So you have to tell me कि to end hunger ये हमारा कौन से वाला sustainable goal है, right? Whether it is the first one or the second one, you have to tell कि ये कौन से number वाला sustainable goal है. Now the two question which arises over here कि इस रिपोर्ट का एम क्या है और मेजर फाइंडिंग्स, मेजर हाइलाइट्स क्या हैं इस रिपोर्ट की, ठीक है. सो दिस टाइम दिस रिपोर्ट हैज़ एस्टिमेटेड दी वाटर स्कैरसिटी इन इरिगेटेड एग्रीकल्चर एंड वाटर शॉर्टेजेस इन रेन फेड एग्रीकल्चर. रेन फेड एग्रीकल्चर क्या होता है? रेन फेड एग्रीकल्चर इज अ टाइप ऑफ फार्मिंग दैट रिलाइज ऑन रेनफॉल फॉर वाटर, ठीक है. तो ये वाटर स्कैरसिटी को इस बारी इसके फाइंडिंग्स इन्होंने करे हैं. तो लेट जस्ट नो कि क्या फाइंडिंग्स हैं और क्या हाइलाइट्स हैं इस रिपोर्ट के. देयर आर 3 मेजर फाइंडिंग्स ऑफ दिस रिपोर्ट. देयर आर 3 मेजर हाइलाइट्स ऑफ दिस रिपोर्ट. द फर्स्ट वन बीइंग वाटर स्ट्रेस. सो द ट्रबल अराउंड वाटर स्ट्रेस is increasing day by day. About 1.2 billion people globally experienced very high level of water stress, और उसमें से half of them live in southern Asia. सबसे ज़्यादा यहाँ पर रहते हैं. So this trouble of water stress is really increasing so much. The second finding is drought affected areas. Even this one is becoming worse day by day, as about 11% of the world's rain-fed cropland face frequent drought. This is a really bad news. And the third finding is on fresh water, which again is not a good news for all of us, because even the availability of freshwater resources are declining day by day, which is a grave cause of concern, and we all must do something about it. So that was all about this particular news. You just have to remember about certain things about the organization and of course the report. And for your mains examination, you can definitely quote these facts and the findings of the report. That was all about it. Next up we have World Malaria Report 2020, which has been released by WHO. Before we come to the findings of the report, let us know about the malaria, its causes, how it gets transmitted, and all of that. So it is caused by Plasmodium parasite. It is caused by this parasite called Plasmodium. So it has total 5 types, but 2 of them causes malaria. The first one is Plasmodium falciparum, which is the most dangerous one. Second one is Plasmodium vivax. And how it gets transmitted? It gets transmitted through the bite of an infected female Anopheles mosquito. You need to remember this fact for prelims. They might ask you this question directly. Coming back to the highlights, coming back to the findings of the report, I must tell you first that we have some positive findings regarding this, which is a good news. So the first finding is malaria control, which says that there's a reduction in the cases from 2 decades, that is from 2000 to 2020. ठीक है, तो काफ़ी reduction हुआ है cases में. As we all know, Africa carries the highest burden of the malaria, right? Because it has 94% of the world's malaria cases. 94% तो यहीं present हैं. 94 cases तो यहीं पर present हैं. ठीक है. Talking about India, which is of course the most important for us, India, we have a positive news again, because we have shown a decline of 17.6% in 2019 and as compared to 2018, which is highest in Southeast Asia region. ठीक है. So this is a positive news for us. Now we will talk about 2 countries जो कि malaria free हो चुकी हैं. ठीक है. The first one is Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka was certified malaria free in 2015 only. Second one is Timor-Leste, which is also known as East Timor. It is a South Asian country only. इसने भी 0 malaria cases report करे हैं in 2018 and 19. That was all about the report. So there are 2-3 main things you need to remember. The first one is who releases the report. So WHO releases the report, all right, and how it gets transmitted, about the Plasmodium and about the female Anopheles mosquito. You need to remember for your prelims and for your mains examination. You need to remember the facts. You need to remember the highlights of the report. That was all about this. Let's move on to our next topic, Artpark. So the Artpark stands for AI and Robotics Technology Park, so Artificial Intelligence and Robotics Technology Park, which will be set up in जो कि Bangalore में set up होने वाला है. It is a non-for-profit foundation, right? And who will be funding it? It will be funded by Department of Science and Technology under what mission? Under National Mission on Interdisciplinary Cyber Physical Systems. ठीक है. सबसे the important thing is that this topic AI is really important for both of the examination, for your prelims and mains examination, so you have to cover it comprehensively. आपको ये बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ना पड़ेगा. Artificial intelligence हमेशा न्यूज़ में रहता है, hence it becomes all the more important to cover every aspect of this topic. तो कुछ भी इसके बारे में नहीं छोड़ना है. prelims और mains दोनों के लिए equally important है, right? Artpark के बारे में हम पढ़ लेते हैं अभी. So coming back to Artpark, the objective of this thing is, of course, to promote the innovation in this field, in the field of artificial intelligence and robotic, which will lead to societal impact by executing mission mode R&D projects. कौन से field में? Healthcare के field में, education के field में, infrastructure, agriculture focusing on problems unique to India. V-shaped recovery. फाइनेंस मिनिस्ट्री एक मंथली इकोनॉमिक रिव्यू रिपोर्ट रिलीज़ करती है. उसमें ये मेंशन किया गया है दैट आवर इकोनॉमी इज़ विटनेसिंग वी शेप रिकवरी. नाउ वी मस्ट अंडरस्टैंड कि व्हाट ऑल आर द टाइप्स ऑफ रिकवरीज एंड व्हाट इज़ वी शेप रिकवरी. ओके, एज यू कैन सी हियर देयर आर मेनी टाइप्स ऑफ रिकवरीज मेंशन्ड हियर. ठीक है, हम वन बाय वन सारे सबके बारे में एक एक बारी पढ़ लेते हैं. द फर्स्ट वन इज़ वी शेप रिकवरी. Okay, so in this, the economy quickly recovers the lost ground and get back to the normal growth trend line. ठीक है, जैसे जैसे हमारा pandemic खत्म होगा वैसे वैसे our economy will recover. Of course, there are certain conditions to this type of recovery. That the first one and the major one is that the pandemic should end. Only the pandemic will only when the pandemic will end we can recover. So that was all about V-shape recovery. Kiwi quickly recovers in this type of recovery. ठीक है. Next one we have U-shaped recovery. Here the recovery is there but is slower than the V-shaped recovery. ठीक है, हम यहाँ पर धीरे धीरे recover करते हैं, not as quickly as we recovered in the V-shaped. Next one we have swoosh recovery, or the Nike का जो ऐसे साइन होता है इस recovery को Nike swoosh recovery भी बोलते हैं. What happens in this type of recovery? Here, after falling, growth starts recovering quickly, but then slowed down by the obstacles and moves gradually back to the trend line. So there was about it. Let's move on to the next one. We have the L type of recovery. L type of recovery में क्या होता है? So this basically happens when the recession will be, lengthier than we anticipated. ठीक है, and in this scenario, people of course will continue to cut back their spending and debt will build up and bankruptcies will happen. So this type of recovery is the worst case scenario, because here economy almost never grows only, right? तो L shape जो होता है वो सबसे ज़्यादा worst case होता है. Moving on to the next one, we have W shape recovery. W shape में in this the growth falls and rises, but falls again before recovering, thus forming a W-like chart. So it is called double dip also, which can of course be due to the second wave of pandemic. तो ये था W shape के बारे में. Next one we have Z shape recovery. Z shape recovery, it is the most optimistic scenario in which the economy quickly rises after a economic crash. So it is the best scenario, it is the worst scenario, and the scenario which we are having right now according to the report is the V-shape recovery. That was all about the topic. Next up we have Global Innovation and Technology Alliance. ठीक है, सबसे पहले what is the news about it? The news is that this alliance recently celebrated its 9th foundation day, जिसका थीम क्या था? आत्मनिर्भर भारत. ठीक है, सेल्फ रिलायंट इंडिया. ओके, अब हम ये जान लेते हैं कि ये अलायंस है क्या, व्हाट इज़ इट ऑल अबाउट। ग्लोबल इनोवेशन एंड टेक्नोलॉजी अलायंस बेसिकली एक पीपीपी कंपनी है, पब्लिक प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप कंपनी है। किन के बीच में ये पार्टनरशिप है? द मेजर स्टेक होल्डर्स, द मेजर the groups are: first is Technology Development Board, TDB, and second is Department Science and Technology, DST. Third one is CII, that is Confederation of Indian Industry. ठीक है, तो यही दो मेजर क्वेश्चंस होते हैं about if there is any organization coming up. तो the first one you need to read about that particular organization is कि what is it basically, what is the what is organization all about. And the second thing you always need to keep in mind is the role of that organization, uska kya aim hai, why that organization has been created. So the aim of GITA is to strengthen the India's innovation ecosystem को strengthen करने के लिए this alliance has been created. ठीक है, सो दिस बोर्ड जो हमने ऊपर पढ़ा था, इसके बारे में हम जान लेते हैं। टेक्नोलॉजी डेवलपमेंट बोर्ड, दिस इज़ नथिंग जस्ट अ स्टैट्यूटरी बॉडी विच कम्स अंडर मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, और इसका मेजर काम क्या होता है? टू प्रोवाइड द फाइनेंशियल असिस्टेंस टू इंडियन इंडस्ट्रियल कंसर्न्स एंड अदर एजेंसीज, राइट? So there's nothing much about this topic you need to remember, just that they've celebrated their foundation day and जिसका theme ये था, ठीक है? And this is a PPP model. This is a PPP model, public-private partnership between these three stakeholders, right? And इसका aim जो है, which you can quote if it is being asked in your exam, correct? Next up we have Malayan giant squirrel. I'm sorry for the pronunciation, it's Malayan giant squirrel. So Zoological Survey of India ने recently एक survey conduct किया है, जहाँ पर उन्होंने बताया कि the species could decline by 90% in India by 2050, which is a really cause of concern, and they might get extinct अगर हमने कुछ urgent steps नहीं लिए तो, ठीक है? मलायन जाइंट स्क्वेरल के बारे में आपको दो तीन चीज़ें यू मस्ट रिमेंबर, यू मस्ट रिमेंबर सर्टेन फ्यू थिंग्स अबाउट द स्पीशीज़ जो न्यूज़ में रहती हैं। आई टेल यू इस वाले टॉपिक में कि क्या क्या चीज़ें यू शुड रिमेंबर अबाउट द स्पीशीज़ विच आर इन न्यूज़. So little bit about the species, like for example in this case it is the world's largest squirrel species, ठीक है? इसका dark color का body होता है. The next important thing is its distribution. ये बहुत important है. This point is really important as to where all it is distributed. So it is distributed in the South or East Asia region and the India-Nepal region. I'll just read them out for you. It is distributed across Bangladesh, Northeast India, Nepal, Bhutan, China, Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, Malaysia, Cambodia, Vietnam and Indonesia. ठीक है? So the distribution comes important. Okay, and the next point, the major important and the unique point about this particular species is that it is a health indicator. All right, health indicator species का क्या मतलब होता है? They act as an indicator for the condition of our ecosystem, and if they are thriving, that means that our ecosystem is in a thriving position. And but if they are declining, if they're not in a good state, that clearly and directly means that our ecosystem is also in a threat. Okay. Zoological Survey of India ने तो बोला ही है that it has declined by 90% in India, that it will decline 90% in India by 2050. So this clearly means that our ecosystem is also in danger, because this is an indicator species which indicates about the health of our ecosystem. Next thing what you must remember about any species which is in news is its IUCN status. Malayan giant squirrel का IUCN status is near threatened, and Wildlife Protection Act 1972 में it is being mentioned in Schedule 1. इसको threats किस चीज़ से हैं? इसको threats हैं by deforestation, fragmentation of forest, crop cultivation and over harvesting of food, and also from illegal trade in wildlife and hunting for consumption. These are the threats it faces, right? That was all about this topic. Next up we have China's artificial sun. So, China has successfully powered up its artificial sun nuclear fusion reactor जिसका नाम है HL2M tokamak reactor. ठीक है, it is the largest and most advanced nuclear fusion experimental research device, and the scientists are hoping that the device can potentially unlock a powerful clean energy source, क्योंकि अभी तक हम लोग न्यूक्लियर फिजन का यूज़ करते थे और न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी जनरेट करने के लिए हम न्यूक्लियर फिजन का यूज़ करते थे, बट द रिजल्टेंट एनर्जी गेट जनरेटेड इन द फिजन इज नॉट दैट मच एज दैट ऑफ फ्यूजन. ऑलराइट, हमारे एग्ज़ाम के लिए जो इम्पोर्टेंट है दैट इज़ न्यूक्लियर रिएक्शन, कि न्यूक्लियर रिएक्शंस क्या होते हैं. सो वी विल नाउ टॉक अबाउट न्यूक्लियर रिएक्शंस एंड इट टाइप्स. न्यूक्लियर रिएक्शंस बेसिकली एक प्रोसेस होता है in which two nuclei or a nucleus and an external subatomic particle collide to produce one or more nuclides, right? There are two types of nuclear reactions जो यहाँ पर भी उन्होंने यूज़ किया है. ठीक है, हम उन दोनों के बारे में पढ़ेंगे क्योंकि वही हमारे एग्जाम के लिए ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट है इंस्टेड ऑफ दिस. So there are two types. The first one being nuclear fission. What we do in fission, here the nucleus of an atom splits into two daughter nuclei, right? So here what is happening, here splitting is happening, okay? And on the other hand, what happens in nuclear fusion, here we combine the two lighter nuclei into a heavier one. So there we combine. Fusion may we combine and fission may we split the two of them, right? So since we were talking about the fusion, so what we do there, we combine the two lighter nuclei into the heavier one, and such a nuclear fusion reaction are the source of energy in the sun. Sun में भी वही होता है, and China have and the update, the news is that China have created this. So जो हमारे एग्जाम पर्सपेक्टिव से इम्पोर्टेंट है is the types, the nuclear reactions and the types of it. That was all about this one, this particular news. Next up we have, so about global wage report. The first question which arises it, who releases this report? UPSC might give you options like World Economic Forum, World Bank. तो कौन release करता है? ILO. So the right answer would be ILO. ILO releases this, International Labour Organization releases this report. Before we proceed further, let's just know about the organization ILO. So it was founded in 1990, and the aim is to promote the social justice. इसका headquarter is situated in Geneva, Switzerland. Okay, and the organization also received a Nobel Peace Prize in 1969. You can remember this fact if you want to. ठीक है, and they not only work for the quality of work but also for the dignity of labor, right? And there are other reports as well which ILO releases. The first one is World Employment and Social Outlook, Global Wage Report, and third is World Social Protection Report. ये reports are really important for all of you to remember. Reports could be directly asked in your examination. जैसे बहुत बारी पूछा भी है UPSC ने, तो सारी organizations की report you must remember. Now let us talk about the highlights and the findings of the report. There's nothing much to understand about the findings, so I'll just quickly read them out for you. Okay, तो इस पैंडमिक की वजह से जो वेजेस पे इफेक्ट पड़ा है उस ट्रेंड को इस रिपोर्ट ने हाईलाइट किया है. And the first point, the first highlight is during 2016 and 19, global wage growth fluctuated between 1.6 and 2.2%. Okay, and in the first half of 2020, the average wage in the 2/3 countries fell or grew more slowly due to the novel coronavirus, this pandemic. Okay. The second major finding is in the remaining 1/3 of the countries, there's an increase in average wage. There's an increase in average wage was observed. Okay. The third finding is the report also found that not all the workers were equally affected by the crisis. So this is a really important finding, that not all the workers are equally affected by the crisis. Those in low skilled occupations and mostly women are more mostly women lost more working hours than higher paying managerial and professional jobs. So it has not impacted everybody equally, right? तो आपको जो चीज़ें इस particular टॉपिक के बारे में याद रखनी है is the organization itself, about its aim and its foundation and its the report it releases. ये तो बहुत ही important point है. The reports it releases, it's a really important point. Apart from that, you can also try to remember the major highlights, the major findings of the report. That was all about global wage report. And the last topic of the day we have is Apex Committee for Paris Agreement. So about Apex Committee for Paris Agreement, which has been constituted by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Let us read about what this committee is, what is its purpose, और ये इसके क्या major functions हैं. All right, इसका major purpose जो है, the major purpose is basically to coordinate the response on climate change matters, जो कि ये भी ensure करता है that India is on the right track towards meeting its obligations under what? Under Paris Agreement and including its NDCs. ठीक है, तो it basically do what? It ensures that India is on the right track on achieving its Paris Agreement obligations, right? Now, what is Paris Agreement and what are nationally determined contributions? Paris Agreement basically एक agreement होता है within which comes within the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, that is UNFCCC, dealing with greenhouse gas emissions mitigations, right? And its long-term temperature goal is to keep the increase in global average temperature to well below 2 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial level, and to pursue efforts to limit the increase to 1.5 degrees Celsius, right? That was all you need to know about Paris Agreement. Next we come to nationally determined contributions. ये क्या होते हैं? So Paris Agreement basically does what? It requests each country to outline and communicate their post 2020 climate change climate actions, known as their nationally determined contributions. I'll repeat it for you. कि Paris Agreement हर एक कंट्री को रिक्वेस्ट करता है टू आउटलाइन एंड टू कम्युनिकेट द पोस्ट 2020 क्लाइमेट एक्शंस, जिनको हम बोलते हैं देयर नेशनली डिटरमाइंड contributions. All right, now another major part is the key functions of this committee, of the Apex Committee. So it will be a national authority regulating the carbon markets, okay? The carbon markets which are under Article 6 of the Paris Agreement. Apart from that, it will also be issuing the guidelines on the carbon pricing, market mechanism, and other similar instruments that have bearing on climate change.